Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips. You have got to be joking me with this Pro Bowl stuff. You have got to be joking me. What's up, Mr. Bundy? Okay. You know, I used to get so livid about Lavonte David getting snubbed by the Pro Bowl every year because his stats are just, they dominate everybody. There's not a linebacker in the league that had Lavonte's stats, and he got snubbed by the Pro Bowl every year. Antoine Winfield Jr. How in the world did he not get picked for the Pro Bowl? How in the world? I mean, these systems aren't perfect, the way they pick this stuff. But it's kind of like reffing. The referees, we'll never have a perfect system. There's always going to be human error. There's always going to be mistakes. And the Pro Bowl is kind of that way. But man, sometimes you just wonder, does everybody just hate the Buccaneers? I mean, the players, the coaches, the media, the fans. It's insane. It is really insane. I don't know. Al sent me a message. He sent a comment, and I'd seen it right as soon as we got through the live stream. I think somebody came in on the live stream and said, "Hey, Mike Evans made the Pro Bowl, yay!" And we were like, "Yes!" And I didn't even think to go and look at it. But after the live stream, I went and I checked everything out, and I was like, "Where is Antoine Winfield?" I mean, I thought for sure he was a lock this year. For sure. Maybe they'll do like they did Devin White. The year he should have gotten it, he didn't. And then the next year when he shouldn't have got it, he did get it. I don't know. But anyhow, there was an article on NFL.com about the top players who should have gotten into the Pro Bowl that didn't. And Winfield was number one. So at least they acknowledged the fact that, the system's not perfect. But man, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know how. Here are the guys that are listed. Okay. We've got, this is the NFC. Quarterback, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford. Man, I don't, Brock Purdy, really? But it is what it is. Okay. Christian McCaffrey, running backs. Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Swift, Kyron Williams. Okay. Those all three did stuff this year. Fullback. The only one. Kyle Juszczyk for the 49ers. Although I think Keith Smith with Atlanta, but I think he ended up getting hurt. He's on IR. Wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, and Puka Nacua. No problem there. Makes sense. Tight ends, George Kittle, Sam Laporta. Again, nothing to argue there. They all go with it. Tackles, Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, Penei Sewell. Offensive linemen, it's more name recognition usually because, who watches offensive linemen, right? Guard, Zach Martin from Dallas, Chris Lindstrom from Atlanta Falcons, Landon Dickerson, Philadelphia Eagles. And center, Jason Kelce, of course, and then Frank Ragnow with the Detroit Lions. Well, Lavonte has his whole career. He used to play in the same league or the same division with the Carolina linebacker who got all the recognition. Kuechly. And Lavonte's stats were always better every year. Every year his stats were better, but Kuechly would always get in, And it was, it's kind of just name recognition. It was so aggravating. Especially the one year, I think it was 2012, 2013. Lavonte David had like a record-breaking amount of tackles for losses. And didn't get no acknowledgement whatsoever. All right, defensive end. Nick Bosa, Montez Sweat, and Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, Again, a lot of name recognition there, but interior linemen, Aaron Donald, Dexter Lawrence, and Javon Hargrave. Outside linebacker, Micah Parsons, Daniel Hunter, Hassan Reddick. It's all Cowboys, Eagles. We got one from the Giants, interior lineman, Dexter Lawrence. The 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, the usual. Fred Warner, definitely Fred Warner. He's a great linebacker. Bobby Wagner. Cornerback, Deron Bland, Charvarius Ward for the 49ers, Jalen Johnson, Chicago Bears, Devon Witherspoon from Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks got more people than I thought. And then the safety, free safety, Jesse Bates from Atlanta Falcons. Strong safety, Buda Baker from Arizona Cardinals. Ain't no way he didn't get in just based on his name alone. That's it. There's no way. And Julian Love with Seattle Seahawks. Brian Anger got in again. Dallas Cowboys. Our old kicker. But I mean, you look at just on stats alone, which I'm not a huge stats guy, but Buda Baker. Here's his stats compared to Antoine Winfield Jr. Look at that. That's this year, 2023. Buda Baker had 11 games started. Winfield, 16. Interceptions. Winfield beats him in every single category. He doesn't even have any sacks or any interceptions. I mean, how? Or forced fumbles or fumble recoveries. Yet he's going to make the Pro Bowl. You got to be joking me. At least Julian Love, a little bit better. Okay, you want to do free safety? We'll do Jesse Bates. And Winfield doesn't play true strong safety, by the way. Nobody plays true anything on this team. Is he even a backup? Do we have the special teams? I don't see the backups. Okay, so we got 4 interceptions. He got no sacks. He's got 8 more tackles solo. 3 less forced fumbles, 3 less fumble recoveries, 1 more interception. There's just no way that you could say none of these guys, none of them. So annoying. Every year, man, every year. Oh, man. I don't know, Craig. That is a good question. Now, normally they have the reserves listed too, but I don't see them. Of course, this is NFL.com. They got horrible. Their website's always just horrible. But I mean, why even have these Pro Bowls if you're going to have just big names or names? It's like, just call it the Celebrity Bowl. Although, does anybody know who Julian Love is? Buda Baker, of course, but like Jesse Bates? Nobody knows him. I don't know. Just annoying. And Jesse Bates, they're not even on a winning team. You can't even use that excuse. But the thing about the Pro Bowl is, it's silly now. It doesn't mean anything. The only thing it means anything for is contract negotiations, It's for fans and stuff. It means absolutely nothing. Man, nothing. I'm not seeing anything for the reserves. It's out there somewhere. The Patriots were shut out for the first time since 2000. They didn't get nobody in. Yeesh. Do they not have the reserves out yet? Maybe. Why is everything so hard to look up anymore? The internet stinks anymore. As you can tell, I'm not in a very good mood. Okay, alternates. Here we go. But we won't find out for a while. Okay. So alternates have not been decided yet. Past don't deserve anyone. Man, look at my room is a mess. You can see all the kids' toys over here. That's why I keep it dark in here. Why is it so light? Today's a mess. Been hectic all day. There we go. How about that? Now you can't see my ugly ugly floor. All right. Woo. Anyhow. How's everybody doing? What's up, Tom? Winfield's in at first alternate. Where'd you see that at? What's up, Dylan? David? Mr. Robinson? Yeah. Winfield will probably most definitely get all pro. All the media people are just raving about him. Yeah, most popular players bowl. I mean, yeah, he's just a talented player. And, the thing for as young as he is and the way he immediately stepped into that role and played well since day one, he played like a veteran day one. I was amazed, And he's never really gotten the recognition he deserved. This year, he's really gotten more recognition than he has since he's been here. And I thought for sure he was going to be Pro Bowl material. He was getting all kinds of national chatter, won some awards. What was it, week 13? He won NFC Defensive Player of the Week? Something like that. You just never know, man. You just never know. But at least Mike Evans got in. It's a shame, though, that nobody else on our team did. But I'm sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, who should go in? Maybe Lavonte always, but who made the linebackers? Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner, too. Well, Bobby Wagner, anyhow, is as old as Lavonte, basically. Let me look at their stats. But other than that, I couldn't think of a single person on our roster. And when I went and I voted for the Pro Bowl a few weeks ago, normally I'll just vote straight down. I'll just be like every Buccaneer, I'll just vote. But I didn't do that this year. I was kind of miffed at some of these guys. I was like, you're not playing well this year. So I can see why they didn't get the any nods even from their own fans, because I didn't. I think like maybe 4 or 5 of them did. All right, Warner's got better stats than Lavonte this year. I know he doesn't have it in his career. Although, that'd be interesting to look up. I might look that up. Boop, 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 do, do, do. Dang it. Bobby Wagner. Fred Warner. Yeah, they're about the same. Lavonte's got 1 more sack. Wagner's got 10 more tackles solo. Lavonte's got 1 more forced fumble. Wagner's got 1 more fumble recovery. So, you could definitely say Lavonte could have been in there. Just on stats alone. But Fred Warner, he's got the best stats. So who else? Anybody else on our team? You could say Tristan Wirfs maybe. But he's had a kind of up and down the year this year. Kind of a little rough. I could see where they people didn't give him all the credit. Yeah, Seattle's got a great fan base. The literal 12th man. Yeah, like that game last week against Saints. I mean, Winfield was in almost every play. He was involved somehow. Yeah, in the first part of the year with Rashad White, kind of hurt him too. You know, because all anybody talked about is how our run game was crap. Jake Camarda. He could have got a Pro Bowl nod. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else that I would have given a nod to. We have so many guys that are just such a disappointment. Yeah, not a one. That's it. Camarda, maybe. Lavonte David, maybe. That's it. And Winfield. Winfield definitely should have got it. Kamara killed his shot versus the Saints. And we never did find out somebody said he was hurt, but what was it? Did he get hurt in warm-ups? Was it somebody else said he tried to tackle somebody? I don't know, man. Tom, you got the alternates list? I can't find it anywhere. Yeah, and McDiggly-Doogly, McLaughlin. I mean, he had a great season, right? Who made it as the kicker? Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys. Let's compare them to. See what we come up with. Oops. Oh, okay, yeah. Brandon Aubrey destroyed him. This isn't even. Except in extra points. McLaughlin kicked 100%. Didn't miss a one. But he only kicked 33 compared to Aubrey's 47. Man, that's a lot more touchdowns. That's 14 more touchdowns. That's a touchdown a game almost. Oof. He only kicked 28 field goals, made 26 of them. Oh, Brandon Aubrey kicked 35 and made 35. He got 100%. Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it. Can't be mad about that one. Eesh. At 9 of 9 on field goals of 50 yards or longer. His long was 60. Man, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I would say Chase McLaughlin was robbed. Not when you got kicker competition like that. Justin Tucker has been such a good kicker for so long. For like 20 years. He's just been dominant. Yeah, Aubrey was way better. Hey, what's up, Rampage? How you doing, man? The Pro Bowl Skills Show is Thursday, February 1st at 7 p.m. Did anybody watch that any? I remember when they used to have those competitions in Hawaii before the actual game. Those were always cool. But I haven't seen it since they've gone to the new format. I haven't watched a Pro Bowl game in probably at least since they moved it from Hawaii, but maybe even before that. But I haven't seen the skills show. Has anybody watched it? You had him on your fantasy football? Yeah, you get a kicker that's good and consistent. You hold on to him, man. I don't stream kickers if I don't have to. If I could find one that's decent, that's just one less thing you got to worry about. So Baker Mayfield practiced today and looked pretty good according to reports. Did he practice the full day? Oh, he was limited. Canales said he's looking pretty good though. Is there let's look and see if there's I know we had a press conference from oh yeah, Dave Canales press conference. I want to watch that. Man, I am so worried about this Panthers game. Man, it's an 18-minute press conference. This is going to take up the whole live stream. Oh, I got a little thing here. It says ads will run shortly for some viewers starting in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. Y'all let me know if you get an ad. 4, 3, 2, 1. I've never seen that before. That must be new. No ad for you, Al? Bucks 23, Kitty 16. Craig's hitting his score prediction. Uh, 23-16 Bucks. You got anybody else in there? James Hill's podcast had this? Had what? David got an ad. Okay. That's what he had, was the alternates. So first alternate is Winfield. Werf's his first or second alternate. Vita Val, fourth or fifth alternate. And Baker was an alternate too. Limited for Baker just means they didn't let him headbutt the guys in helmets. Yeah, the Pro Bowl used to be kind of fun when it, the whole NFC, AFC rivalry. Tom got an ad. Rampage did not. That's interesting. It was for Halloween deals. Jump on it, man. They should be giving that stuff away right now. Yeah, it just popped up and it said some viewers are going to get an ad in 10 seconds. I've never seen that before. Of course, I'm not on that page all the time either. All right, I want to watch this Canales press conference. See what he's got to say. I wonder if anybody asked Todd Bowles about that 3rd and 8 backed up against the goal line play. Yeah, I saw it, Tom. I was talking about it while you were watching your ad, apparently. I appreciate that. Look, he looks so happy. He's such a happy guy. Let's see what we got.
I had the forecast a little bit screwed up today, so got cold on me. How we doing?
He didn't address appropriately, apparently. That's how Molly is. Molly is like the worst. I give her a hard time every time we go somewhere. She never dresses appropriately. If it's cold out, she forgets her jacket or she doesn't wear a jacket. If it's hot out, she wears a jacket. She's always cold or always hot. Cracks me up. Even my daughter does it now. She'll be like, Mom, you didn't dress appropriately.
It looked like the Saints were making a lot of late movement or post-snap changes in coverage. Was that the case?
Yeah, they made.
He asked, the Saints look like they did a lot of post-snap movement to change their coverage. Is that what happened? I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot of it. To me, it looked like they just kind of ran the same coverage for the most part. I didn't see them change up that much. Definitely post-snap. They did a couple times, but no more than most teams do.
Made it challenging, so I got a lot of respect for Dennis Allen. He had a great game plan against us. And I don't want to give him all the credit, for.
I didn't see Dennis Allen have that great of a game plan.
Just some of the execution and things we didn't get done in the game. We didn't play our type of football that we've been playing for the last month. The balance stuff, the execution, the fundamental things that just weren't there on the day. And then it got away from us, and at a certain point we just had to go, okay, let's switch modes and let's go attack and see if we can get ourselves back in the game.
Yeah, there you go. I was thinking about this last night after watching the defense. I definitely think the offense played a lot worse than the defense did. The defense seemed to get it together a little bit. They definitely had some blown assignments and stuff. But the offense really struggled. And he just said, we got into the later in the game and decided to change things up. Like, why did it take him so long? David says, I want to see somebody ask Canales how he ducks getting fired. Did you pick up on the fact that the Saints are in the same play on 80% of the game? I know. It's so weird. Tom says, our kicker, punter, Lavonte, and Rashad did not make alternate. Rashad, I can understand, especially because he had such a tough time at the beginning of the year. Kicker, punter, and Lavonte, they should be alternates.
A lot of the players were saying after the game that they just felt flat.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sense that early on that it was just a lack of energy and intensity?
He said a lot of the players said after the game that they just came out flat. And did Canales sense that going into the game or during the game?
Yeah, I think I could feel that for sure. But even in those types of games, like what do we rely on? Our basics, the assignments, the execution. Those are things that just were kind of uncharacteristic for the way we've been playing football for the last couple of weeks, and so just really a timely wake-up call for our guys. Like, we can't just show up and expect these things to happen for us. It takes a lot of intentionality. Even with all the holiday season and all that, whatever that is, we have to maintain our focus.
Yeah, see, that's how I felt. They just showed up and expected to win. That's interesting that he said that. We did. We got punched in the mouth. Just played bad football.
How do you approach these all or nothing type games, right? Where there's a lot at stake.
Oh, yeah.
Jobs are at stake. I mean, there's so much, right?
Yeah.
And there is no, like, you guys have been kind of living this life for a while. Last week you did have a little house money.
Yeah.
Now it's all gone. So how do you prevent yourself, others from making it maybe bigger, or should it be that big?
Yeah, it's the
He was basically asking, this is an important game. How are you going to prevent guys from making the game bigger than it should be or whatever? I didn't really understand the question.
messaging right from the beginning. Like, every single game is big, and whether it's a loss in the first 4 weeks, in the middle of the season, or at the end, like, all of them matter. And I think,
Al, I'm really, really scared about this Carolina game. We're going to go in there thinking, oh, they're 2-14. They don't have anything to play for. They don't care. We beat them once. We're the better team. And I could see Carolina really salivating because they got a really big chance to, blow us up, ruin our season, get everybody fired. And could you imagine, it would be national news if the Carolina Panthers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kept them from getting the NFC South just for giggles. I'm worried, man.
Not just us in this situation. I'm really proud of the fact that we put ourselves in a win and you're in type of situation over the last month. But there's a lot of teams playing for other things like the top seed, and home field advantage and those types of things too, where the stakes are high, for them being able to play home or travel. And so we try to prep the guys that way. Every game is a championship opportunity, and for sure that goes without saying. This week, this is it. This is a championship moment for us, for our group as a whole, and for us to just come back, get right back to the basics, and try to put aside any.
Oh my God, he's starting to talk coach speak. Oh no. I said it would probably be about mid-season when he started doing that, but he's doing it now. He's saying, coach speak. Got to do our fundamentals.
Any type of other side story other than, guys, let's look at brass tacks here. Let's look at our footwork, our technique, the depths of routes, the throws, all of those
The
types
surface.
of things that really didn't
Say
happen
surface.
for us last week, and see if we can get back right on track to what we were doing before that.
Are you spending more time with Kyle these next couple of days, even if Baker starts, and with the situation with the ribs, how's that working out?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Okay, now here they asked him about Baker Mayfield, if he's going to start or if the ribs are bothering him enough where it could be an issue during the game, and is Kyle Trask going to start if Baker can't perform?
so we have a very interactive way that we teach in our quarterback room with our offense. So throughout the whole thing, whether it's Kyle or John, we have those conversations. We've been working, but for sure this week is like, we got to see what happens here with Baker, as we progress through the week, and Kyle's ready, and he's been working, in between drills throughout the whole season. Thad takes him and they go through the whole script to make sure he gets those reps, and so those are going to be really important as we go into this week.
And just one follow-up, how did Baker look to you today?
He had a third down period, took all the reps in a nice third down period, and he threw some
That is true. Carolina put up 0 against the Jags. Yeah, they're a bad team. Okay, he's talking about Mayfield's performance at practice today.
accurate balls. He looked pretty good, So, again, I don't want to give too much about, the plan and the style of what we're going to do, specifically. But as far as throwing, like he looked functional today. He ripped a couple of balls down the field and looked okay.
Obviously, when you got here, you didn't know Baker as well as you do now.
Mm-hmm.
What have you kind of learned about him, from March or April to this date? He's on the verge of having maybe his best year of his career.
Guy asked him, he said, when you came in this position, you didn't know anything about Baker. How do you feel about him now?
Yeah, so some of the big picture things, just the leader that he is, the way that he handles adversity, the way that he takes accountability, and carries things. He's not looking to blame. He's not looking to, throw anybody under the bus. He really just wants to keep getting better, and he's got a real cool way how he relates to the players, and particularly guys who might be struggling. He's got a way of talking to them and doing those things, and for himself too, bouncing back off of a bad play here or there. He bounces back with the right mentality. His ability to battle through a couple of things, that have happened to him this year. Think about, going back to the first Saints game, going to Buffalo and was a little banged up and found a way to, find himself to game day and gave us a chance to win at the end, So I'm really impressed with his resilience. And then just some of the things that I've discovered throughout the season about him as a passer and the things that he does well, things that he's done better than any quarterback that I've worked with, and just throwing a lot of those out cuts that we've seen come alive, week in and week out, is going to continue to be a part of what we do, stretching the field and really learning, like the success that we've seen, in the last month is really just this chemistry of the me to you factor of learning how to throw to Chris, learning how to throw to Mike, Cade, Trey. We saw the big fumble that Trey had, but like that's a play we've been looking for out of Trey Palmer. And really, it's not just Trey, it's Baker throwing to him, And so I think the way that he's learned our guys and figured out how to get the ball to them in the right way has been really impressive too.
This is the same stuff he said every week about Baker Mayfield. But I wish they would stop asking them about that. It's just a silly question. How do you feel about Baker Mayfield?
With the decision with Baker Mayfield, for example, let's say he's cleared medically.
Yeah.
This is one of the
How involved
Joes.
are you- Let's say he's 80% in some of his throws you're not comfortable with in pregame warmups.
Yeah.
How involved are you with the decision, get him out there or keep him off the field?
That's a good question. He asked Canales, how involved are you? How much say do you have on whether Baker Mayfield can play or not?
Honestly, that's going to be a decision for Baker, if he feels like, I know for sure Baker gives us our best chance to win, so if he feels like he's ready to go, like that's a decision that he'll be able to make.
I know you mentioned Mike Evans, and you're talking about Baker having one of his best years. Mike is appearing to do that as well. He's just named his 5th Pro Bowl. What have you learned about him the more that you've worked with him?
Yeah, there's
How do you feel about Mike Evans?
this football intelligence, this we call it FBI, in the building, this football IQ where he just really knows how to stem routes and get
Gulliver, what's
himself
up?
open. He's so used to teams double covering him, triple covering him at times, and for him to be able to find the right stem to get him access in the route. And then
Oh, I know. The Saints, they're just a dirty team, man. They're the ones that targeted Godwin's knee, blew him out. Was it last year before? Took him out for the whole season. They had done it to, I made a video about it too. They had done it to Gronkowski earlier in the game. Same exact tackle technique where they planted their knees in the ground and went for the opponent's knees. They were targeting the knees. Pissed me off.
and then finish at the top. It's the craziest thing when you see teams double and then all of a sudden the quarterback starts to work the other side of the field and try to find a completion there. And you watch the film later, he found a way to get open, so it gives you confidence that he's going to present himself at the right time. It's like all those things that you
I know, right? That's exactly what I said too, David. I was like, you're going to let him decide whether he's going to play or not? If he gets out there and he can't throw that ball in pregame warm-up, get him off the field.
You can't quantify, and you can't really just teach it all in a moment. It's things
He's
that
talking
happen
about
over
Mike
time,
Evans
over a
here.
career. The competitiveness of the guy, just like he just keeps playing. He just keeps finding a way to fight, to scrap. Another thing I learned about him, just his willingness in the run game. Through a game last week that was pretty hard, just trying to find throws, trying to find rhythm. And while we were mixing in those runs, he still was working. He's still working his butt off on the backside to block corners and safeties. And really just a humble guy too, and where there were
That's
games
true.
like he had every right to be frustrated, and
Mike Evans, it's been interesting watching the progression of Mike Evans because when he first came in the league, I didn't like him a whole lot. He had an attitude, and there was the video of him fighting in college at that bar and all that good stuff, and he seemed like a real hot-headed. He had a temper, and he would catch the ball and fall down immediately. And always acted like he was hurt. And he was always crying for the refs to throw a flag. He was a real first couple years in the league, Mike Evans was a real whiny baby. And we had a game, I can't remember who it was against. I want to say it was Seattle, but I don't think it was. He cost us the game because he caught the ball and he fell down and he acted like he was injured. I think somebody had hit him, whatever. He acted like he was injured, and the team ran over to him and was like, get up, because there was only 8 seconds left. And they blew the whistle and called the injury people out, the medic people out, and then they said, that's the end of the game because we had to take a 10-second runoff because of an injured player. And Mike cost us that game. He wasn't injured. And it seemed like ever since then, he started becoming much more Zen-like. I think it really bothered him that he cost us that game. And ever since then, he's gotten more Zen. And every year I see it with him, more stoic, more, he doesn't let things bother him. Now he'll look at the ref and be like, shrug, are you going to call a penalty on that? And he'll just be like, no, and he'll walk away. And he doesn't do the thing where he lays on the field injured anymore. But I do like when he gets angry and fights with guys. I love that. Though I will never be upset about that. But yeah, it's been interesting watching the progression of Mike. What was it Canales said? He's very humble. Yeah. Yeah, when I met him and talked to him, man, he was great. I mean, he was very humble. Had he talked as long as we wanted. He wasn't acting like gosh, here's fans. Let me sign your autograph and get out of here. And we sat chit chatted, and he seemed like he would have sat there and talked all day if they would have let him.
Games that were hard for us, and he never turned on the offense. He never made a big scene about Mike, and these things. He just kept working, and he found a way to get him.
Oh, I know. What did the Steelers do that to them, or is it they just attract divas over there? I guess Claypool's career is pretty much going to be over with, huh? I mean, he went to Miami signed for very little, and they didn't really do anything with him. Be interested to see what happens with him. They attract him. Steelers are a bunch of diva attractors.
Himself back to focus by the next drive, and that's been really a blessing for me, and something that I really respect out of him.
And as a follow-up, do you have a favorite play of his from this year?
There's so many.
He said that was Jenna. She asked if he had a favorite play of Mike Evans from this year.
I mean, probably one of the coolest ones was like Indianapolis, like the climb the ladder catch, like goes down to the 1 yard line. We're going to get our first opening drive touchdown, and then figured out a way to screw that one up. But just the catch, that was incredible. Some of the go ball shots where it was like, this guy shouldn't let him behind him. He's behind him. And then it was Houston. It was Atlanta the first time. It was Houston twice, actually, down the field on some of those shots. So just his way to find a way to get past the defense where, you see across the league, you see these guys running 21 miles per hour, 22 miles per hour, and he's running his steady 20s-ish, but he went by the guy. So it happened at the right time, that speed. And but I'm sure there's way more that I'm missing.
Yeah, I've seen that with Mike Evans. His whole career is he runs very consistent until he doesn't. He's got this second gear that he'll kick into just to get by guys. And he always surprises them with it, because all game long he'll run at the same speed, and he'll run his routes, and he's hand fighting with guys and all that good stuff. But then on certain routes at certain times, like the go balls, like he was talking about, he'll run to the guy at his regular speed, and then right before he gets there, he'll kick it in and get right past them. And you could tell it shocks them all the time. They just were not expecting it. And but once he gets past them, then he loses all his speed. Like, he's not a fast guy. He's not known for his fast, but he's deceptively quick at certain times. It's been fun watching him. Man, I hope we keep him. Oh, it'd be so sad. Mike Evans playing for someone else.
Last year, but you did win your last game and got into the postseason. So
yeah.
What do you remember about that? What do you have to do? I think you kind of touched on trying to treat.
He's talking about Seattle. His last year at Seattle was basically the same thing. They had to win the last game to get in. And what did he learn from that?
The same way, but it's not the same. So what do you remember about that week?
Well, first thing I remember is Seattle. We also had to depend on the Packers losing, and Detroit. You guys remember that big fourth down Detroit win, and short story on that. So I'm catching balls from Geno Smith, and that's a task. And sometime during the week, jammed my pinky. It's swollen, and so the family and I were watching the game. We're watching the Packers-Lions game at home, and in our 8-foot ceilings, we're sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh, they're going for it here. When they got it, I jump up and slam my hand up on the ceiling. Just completely just exploded the moment. But a similar situation for them this year, and I think, the approach of it was the focus on the little things. It's something where, what I shared with our team early on, and this was kind of something that I heard Richard Sherman say. And he just said, the bigger the moment, the smaller the focus, and I think that's about our details, but also it's about our game plan. It's like we can't.
Did he say Richard Sherman said that? The philosophy coming out of Sherman. The bigger the moment, the smaller the focus.
Just throw in a bunch of new things, guys. It's like Dance with Who Brung You. How did we get here, guys? It's these concepts.
All right, David.
It's these runs.
Take it easy, brother.
put a little window dressing on it, but this is going to be our offense, and we got to be able to execute, and I think that gives us a chance to play fast, to play aggressive, to play physical on the road, against a really good defense too, who statistically, if you look at them, and they played us really well the first time, I know we got all the rain and that kind of slowed some things down, but again, it's going to call for our focus. It's going to call for that just re-engaging. And also just we can't live and die on any drive. We can't live and die on any single play. You look at the Packers game, we have a sack fumble. We give them 7 points right there, and a great job of the group just refocusing on the next drive, and then we roll. And so we have to be able to be resilient, to lean on that armor we've built throughout the season to get ourselves back to a point where we can just execute at the most basic level and trust that if we do that, we take care of the ball, we eliminate the penalties, another issue we had last week that hasn't been a big issue for us in a couple weeks. If we can do that, guys, then we'll be proud of what we have at the end of the game. And I believe in us. I believe in our ability to finish in 4-minute situations. I believe in our ability to finish in 2-minute situations, throwing the ball and getting what we need to score. So putting ourselves in those situations to finish well.
I wanted to ask you about the run game.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning of the year, it seemed to struggle. Then it sort of
Yeah.
started to come along a little bit after the Colts game. In the last few weeks, it seems to have gone back struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
And against the Saints, despite that,
Yeah.
kept with it and stuck with the plan. So I want to ask, what do you think happened the last few weeks of the run game? And could you just reiterate why you think philosophically it's good to keep going with that even when it's on struggles?
Yeah, what's worked for us is balance, and if you go back to the Packers game, this was a defense that saw, like, they've run for 100 yards-ish, the last couple games, so they have to factor in the run game, and we have to believe that balance is going to give us better chances to open up the field, to be able to take advantage of some stuff. Go to the Atlanta game, right? They just said, go ahead and run it today, and we did, and we had a good day there. So I think it's really critical to have that balance. Coming out of the half, there was a little shift in gears with what they were doing defensively, and they gave us an opportunity to run it. We ended with a fumble on that drive, but, I started to get excited about, hey, this is a 14-point game. We're going to play our offense. We're going to run ourselves right back into this thing, and then at some point they're going to have to factor for it, and then that's when all the stuff opens up. So really critical for me to be disciplined about the balance of it, and at the same time to take what they're giving us. And, just felt like we were not able to do that last week, where regardless of what they were doing, we just weren't functioning in the rhythm of the pass game. We just weren't functioning in our runs, and so there wasn't anything we were making them play to us at any point, in that game. And then at the end, we got to go at this point. We spread it out and start to, attack them down the field and take advantage of that.
That's a good question, Rampage. I'm always amazed at how very few questions that are asked really make sense. There are questions nobody really cares about. Like how do you feel about Mike Evans now? I mean, we all know what he's going to say. It's just questions like that. There's very few questions are asked of substance, and that would be a good one. Dave, you didn't seem to have answers for man coverage. Why didn't you use man coverage beaters? Rub routes, picks, mesh, slants. Just what what was the thinking there? Don't know. Bounce. Yeah. We were balanced. We couldn't run or pass. Perfect balance.
That a lot's going to have to be on Baker's mind on how he feels Sunday to play the game, but knowing his toughness and seeing what he's played throughout the season, it would take a lot to keep him out, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
See, that's another one of those, just a dumb question. It's just, he said, knowing Baker's resilience and his toughness and how he's played through injuries and everything, it would take a lot to keep him out of this game, wouldn't it? That was the question. And he said, Canales said, absolutely.
Coach Canales
That was it.
Coming off a game where you have a season high in turnovers, what's
Yeah.
the dialogue with your team, and how do you approach that for this final week to tighten that up?
She asked, with all the turnovers last week, how do you keep that from happening again, and what's your dialogue with the team to make sure it doesn't happen again?
I think it just, for me at least, as the coordinator, it gives merit to the things we've been preaching the whole time, how important the ball is.
He was like, I got to walk in the locker room and go, I told you so. that was basically his answer. I got to rub it in their face. I told him, stop turning that ball over.
If you think about that game, and I know it's all phases of it, but for us in particular, we're getting past the 50-yard line and we're turning the ball over, and so none of the field goals that we normally pick up, kind of getting that area. We have a fantastic kicker. We didn't give him any chances, so it allows me to double down on the importance of it in practice. It's about practice. It's about, the focus after the catch, the focus of the runners when they get to the second level, the awareness of it, right, where it's like, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them in those types of situations. And always in traffic, right. That second offhand has to be a factor. So it does give me a little bit more weight and a little more juice to say, guys, here's what it is.
What's up, Zach? Right? Back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, you would get answers like that, where coaches or other players, players talked crap about each other all the time. Now everybody does, basically everybody does coach speak now. Everybody says, but it would crack me up, if somebody asked him, so how do you feel about Mike Evans now that you've coached him and everything? Yeah, he's a piece of crap. I can't wait to not coach him anymore. It'd be hilarious. Be so refreshing. Yeah, I've noticed he's a soft player. Talking about the Baker. I know, right? It's that guy, he just pretends like he's tough. He's not tough. He whines. He cries. He peeled a Band-Aid off one time, and we had to hold his hand while he did it. Answers like that would be funny. Was that Jenna sneezing? Yeah. These players are not saving my job. That's what he should be the answer to all these questions. What are you going to do to motivate these guys to not have turnovers? Well, one, I told them so. This is exactly what I've been saying all year long. And two, they better save my job. Cook went to the Ravens.
One.
Good. How many running backs do they have over there? Man, they love to stack up on running backs. Huh.
Turnovers, our defense, other than last week, have been doing a fantastic job. If we can flip that, it's 70+% win percentage. Let's give ourselves a chance there, not to mention the penalties, which made it really hard, and then it makes you predictable in a 2nd and 20 type of situation where it's like, well, I'm not going to just, hand the ball off here. It's a pass situation. Now they know they can rush.
Saints did that. Saints actually got a first down on us on a 3rd and 12 by running the ball, making us think they were going to pass it. So you can do it, Dave.
They can play coverage and play games, so staying in rhythm, staying on schedule on 3rd down, because a lot of those penalties and things put us. We had 5 3rd and 10 pluses. In the 3rd and 6 to 9 area, I think we were 75%, one of them by penalty, but we're good on 3rd down when it's not 10 plus. Nobody's great in that area, can rush. Now they can play coverage and play games, so staying in rhythm, staying on schedule on 3rd down, because a lot of those penalties and things put us. We had 5 3rd and 10 pluses.
Had 5 3rd and 10 pluses.
In the 3rd and 6 to 9 area, I think we were 75%, one of them by penalty, but we're good on 3rd down when it's not 10 plus. Nobody's great in that area, you know. So it all ties into that to be able to play complementary football.
Coach, a rules question. On Palmer's catch and fumble,
Yeah.
the NFL says control, 2 feet down, and a football move.
Right.
Did he make a football move because he's stumbling, and was there any talk of maybe challenging that as an incomplete pass?
That's a good question. He's talking about that Tompkins fumble. He said the rule book says in order for it to be a completed pass, you have to have control of the ball and make a football move. And he's saying Tompkins was stumbling and never looked like he had, he never made a football move. He was stumbling when he caught it. Was there any debate about throwing the review flag?
I think it is a football move as he's trying to gain balance because he took quite a few steps there before he hit the ground. Of course,
Yeah, he did.
Nobody touched him, right? So like if somebody had a hand on him, when he hits the ground, then the ball comes out, ball's down right there. So I think the ruling of it and all that was clean, and it was really unfortunate, a max effort play, you know, by Trey, a perfect throw by Baker, and it just was kind of that day, you know.
Yeah, definitely summed it up for me, but I think he's giving Palmer too much credit there. I mean, he did stumble and fall and lose the ball.
When that happened.
I mean, he said it was unfortunate. Yeah, no, that wasn't fortune. Or unfortunate. That was skill or lack thereof.
Last one,
Can you just
please.
talk about his development through the season? Obviously, he had the fumble, but I think
Yeah.
it was a breakout game for him,
Yeah.
really, on Sunday, and just kind of where he's been and where he was at and where he is now.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it wasn't a perfect game for him assignment-wise, but I think
Talking about Palmer, said this was a breakout game for him other than the fumble.
we've been looking for that other explosive factor, you know, opposite of where Mike's at, you know. So we had a little different formation, putting Mike in a non-normal spot, Trey kind of in the single. And if Mike gets attention, you're going to get those one-on-one opportunities. And, you know, I went to him right after the fumble, found him on the sideline. I said, okay, don't let this one play take away from what this game has been for you. A couple of scramble plays that he made for us, you know, and because for me it was like kind of a coming of age for him. Like, you're a factor, you know, believe in this ability right here. We'll finish that play better next time. But I just wanted him to know, let's take care of the ball, yes, but don't lose what's happening here. You're playing yourself into becoming a pro, and I wanted to try to capitalize on that in an otherwise really hard day to find bright spots, you know, about what we were doing.
Okay, thank you.
That's funny. I don't know who the media guy there was, but he kept trying to get him to stop asking questions. He was like, all right, one more question. Some teams are good at third and long. Ravens won a Super Bowl. What's up, MH? Yeah, I think they're the team to beat right now. I want to see the Ravens 49ers again. Have a replay of the Harbaugh Bowl. He's a slow learner. It's yeah. See, I would love a coach or anybody, even another player, to talk. I miss those days, man. You know, when players always talk crap about each other. Whew. You want to see Dak or Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? I think Lamar Jackson is probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. You know, I'm not a fan of running quarterbacks. These athletic, dynamic quarterbacks. I like pocket passers. And somebody had asked me a couple years ago, they were like, what about Lamar Jackson? Should we go for him? And I was like, nah, I don't like those, you know, the running quarterbacks. And then I ended up watching some all 22 of him, and I was blown away. Lamar Jackson is very, very, very good as a pocket passer. He's a better pocket passer than he is a runner. And not only that, he's got that field generalship that Peyton Manning had. You don't see it very often, but he's very good at commanding the field and constantly doing little things to fake out the defense and keep them on their toes and stuff like that. Lamar Jackson does that, and he's a great quarterback. I'd get him in a heartbeat. I think he's probably the best quarterback out there. And that's saying something, because I generally don't like these running quarterbacks. And when they got Todd Monken, I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna use him as a pocket passer. They're gonna find out real quick. He's really good at this. And sure enough. I know, it'd be a hilarious rampage. I would love it. Would love it. It would just be funny. And just, even if he did it as like a joke, he just went out there and talked crap about his players and his opponents and all that stuff, just made stuff up. It'd be funny. Be entertaining. Yeah, MH, it's the whole, gosh, what's it called? It's a risk. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. I use it all the time. Anyhow, it's like when you have insurance on your car, you'll drive more recklessly. When you wear protection, like wrist guards or knee pads or something like that, you'll be more reckless. It's called risk. Dang it. Anyhow, we put in all these rules to protect quarterbacks. Their legs and their head and all that good stuff. There's really only a certain. So now, risk homeostasis. That's what it's called. Risk homeostasis. So now running backs or quarterbacks are more risk. They'll take more risks in running, and they're more likely to run around and all that. Back in the day when they stood in the pocket and they got hit all the time, they didn't want to run around, because they were getting hit anyhow. So there was no sense in running outside the pocket where you would get clobbered. But now that they've got all these rules to protect the quarterback, these quarterbacks aren't getting hit in the pocket, so they're running outside now. They're able to take those risks because it's a risk homeostasis. And look at all the rules we have to protect quarterbacks, and look at how many quarterbacks just this season were knocked out of the game. It'll never change. It'll never change. It's because of the homeostasis of it. And no matter what they do, if they increase one area, it's going to cause players to take more risks. If we try to make something more safe, people are going to try to take more risks. So I see these running quarterbacks and I'm just like, oh God, like RG3 used to run so crazy. And I'm like, man, he's not going to make it long. And sure enough, he didn't. But, it's just some of these guys run like the way Baker Mayfield runs. I'm like, he's going to get clobbered one day badly. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is pretty good with the way he runs. But most of them, they do not run well. Jamar Chase was talking crap. LMH is going 24-17 $. I've got the Panthers all 22 queued up, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. We'll knock off early tonight. And we'll watch some All-22 tomorrow. I really wanted to get on here and rant about the Pro Bowl. I was in a ranting mood today. Debo Samuel keeps talking crap about the Sheagles. I'm a man. I'm 40. No, I don't remember that. I should go live for the Bucs and Panthers game. I was kind of debating on whether to go to the Panthers game. You know, it's about 4 hours away. It's kind of cold here. But the tickets are so cheap. I was like, So I don't know. Don't know, Zach. I probably should go live for it if I'm going to stay at home. Good. Thank you, Gulliver. I thought so, too. Bucks always get cheated out of Pro Bowl guys, but, that's what I said. Lavonte David he's been robbed of the Pro Bowl his whole career, basically. Now it looks like they're going to do it with Winfield, too. Man, you can't. No way. I'm not going to let it happen. And when we sat here and went over the stats of all the safeties in the Pro Bowl, Winfield beats them all, man. If we win and Saints win, we make it in. The Saints need a lot of help. They need other teams to lose. Yeah, the $12. I mean, they're the crap seats. The good seats are still around $320. But you can get $12 tickets. 45 cents. I'm sure if you go, if I went to the stadium and just showed up, hit some scalpers, I'd probably get them for free. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about it. Because, if I went, I'd like to take the family. And, you could take I could take the whole family for $50 just in tickets. That's kind of hard to beat. And plus, it'd be nice to be there if we win, Run down to the field or run down to the home side, watch them put on the hats and shirts. They might wait. They'll probably wait till they get in the locker room for that, but I don't know. Still debating it. That'd be awesome, Craig. Heck yeah, I would. I'd sue, get some money. I'll have Molly video. that would be like I'd play it over and over again. Instead of the skull at the end, it would be me getting a drink thrown on me. That's how I would open every video. Be like, have right before the drink hit me, do the record scratch. Be like, yeah, that's me. Let me tell you how I got here. That'd be awesome. Yeah, he got charged. Tepper got fined $300,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, I know these guys are billionaires and stuff, but still, that's a lot of money. And he's going to end up having to pay that guy. That guy's going to charge him with assault or something. It's more like me getting fined $3, but still, $300,000, that's a lot of money. How much money what is Tepper's net worth? Isn't it like 10 billion or something? Oh, 20 billion. So 20 billion. That's a lot of money. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. That's 20,000, 20 million, 20 billion. So that 300,000 is 0.1% of his net worth. 0.15%. It's a fraction of 1%. $300,000 is 0.15% of his net worth. That's hilarious. That is like chump change, man. Let me see. If my net worth, just say, is worth $1 million, 0.15, not that it is by any means. Stop, calculator. 1.5. Dang it. Five. Why does it keep doing that? 0.15 times 1 million. Dang it. Okay. I'm trying to do this online calculator and it keeps opening up my browser every time I hit the plus button. Big dummy. Okay. 0.15 times 1 million. Is that a million? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I need to do 0.005. Okay. 0.00. Math. How does it work? 0.0015. There we go. $1,500. That would be the equivalent. If I was worth $1 million, that would be the equivalent of $1,500 fine. So if you're worth $100,000, if you got a $100,000 net worth, I know this is totally interesting to everybody. That's worth $150. So it's like an average person, about $150, right? He's worth $20 billion and he got fined $300,000. So let me see. Did I not do the math right there? Okay. $300,000. Oh man, this calculator stinks. I'm gonna do it on my phone. These online calculators are crap. Way too much trouble. All right, 300. Yeah, see, and plus it shows commas on my calculator on my phone. Okay, it's 0.015, so it's 1.5%. Okay. Well, that's a pretty hefty fine then. Wait a minute. No, that's not right. Okay, that was 20 million. Okay, it's even worse than that. It's 0.0015%. So it's literally chump change. It'd be like if you had a net worth of 100 or a net worth of $1 million, it would be like a $15 fine. Somewhere in that area. Okay. Math. How does it work? Yeah, $150. There you go. Yep. So you'd actually be. I am a math guy. I'm a computer science guy. So do lots of math. I'm blaming it on the calculator. This thing was crap. $20 billion. Redonkulous. What would you even do with $20 billion? Oh, I know. You'd buy an NFL team and run it in the ground because you think you're smarter than everybody else. I've got $20 billion. Do what I say. Yeah, computer science. So, did lots of math. Lots of math. Yeah, you do whatever you want. Exactly. What are the Glazers worth? Let's look that up. I don't think they're worth $3.9 billion. Man, they poor. That's just Joel though. Oh, Abram and Joel. The Glazers' family net worth in 2021 was $4.7 billion. Man, they broke. Let's just do all the NFL owners' net worth ranked 2023. Okay, the richest, holy crap, is Rob Walton of the Denver Broncos, $67 billion. And Jody Allen of the Seattle Seahawks and David Tepper both at $20 billion. The Hunt family, Kansas City Chiefs, $15 billion. Man, why Buccaneers? Why are we so broke? We poor people. We the poors. Robert Kraft, $6.6 billion. Shahid Khan, $12.2 billion. Jerry Jones has got $13.3 billion. Man, what does the Hunt family do? Are they the ketchup? No, that's Heinz. What are they? Hunt family. Oil tycoon. Okay. Is that right? Hunt family. Jeez. Oh, they all inherited. Yeah, okay. Same thing with the Waltons. But I guess they're still running Walmart, right? Owner. They got the 3 Major League Soccer franchises, too. I did not know that. The Kansas City Wizards, the Columbus Crew, and FC Dallas. Yeah, so they got their money from the oil industry. He was an oil tycoon, H.L. Hunt. Oh my gosh. The character J.R. Ewing from Dallas TV series was based on H.L. Hunt, the original owner of the Kansas City Chiefs and the one who passed down ownership to the kids. Ain't that something? Yeah, I had no idea that the Glazers were that poor compared to the rest of the NFL owners. Hunt Family Oil. There you go, Tom. No, I want to see the Hunt family daughter. What's her name? Does she got an OnlyFans? How do I look that up without getting on a list? Hunt family daughter? Well, apparently it's quite popular because that's what pops up in the suggested. Gracie Hunt? Is that it? Oh, I've seen her. Yeah. So, I mean, she's not ugly, but she looks like every other, that blonde-haired look. Dang. You can definitely tell she's not lacking in money. Wow. She's on the sideline at the Kansas City games a lot, apparently. Just like that, too. Be confusing her with a cheerleader. Huh. There's son, Mike. Yeah, I'll pass on that one. You're right. They should have been called the Oilers. That doesn't make any sense. Where did they get the name Chiefs from? Okay. Where did the NFL Chiefs name come from? It was the mayor of Kansas City, H. Rowe Bartle. He was often known as Chief. He was key in luring Lamar Hunt's American Football League team. It used to be the Dallas Texans. He lured them to Kansas City. It was interesting. And they named the Chiefs executive, Jack Stedman, when they moved the team to Kansas City, suggested the moniker Chiefs as a tribute to Bartle's work. Because that was his nickname. The Mayor Bartle's nickname was Chief. That's hilarious. Glazer's family, just like that. Yeah, they're poors, like the rest of us. Mike. Let me look up Mike. What's his last name? What was her name? Gracie Hunt? Mike Hunt. I get it. You almost got me. The Tampa Bay male cheaters. Yeah, I think we're leading the league in that. We got 3 on our cheerleading squad. Yeah, I fell for it. Almost. I didn't look it up yet. I was typing it in. I went, oh, Mike Hunt. I get it. Yeah. Y'all sneaky. Y'all funny, man. That's crazy about the Kansas City Chiefs. I had no idea that their team name came from the mayor's nickname. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And then you got the arrow on the side of their helmet. It's called Arrowhead Stadium. They got their mascot is a Indian on a horse. So you just think, oh, they're named Chiefs after the Native Americans. Oh, this is funny. You know who the poorest owners in the league are? The Green Bay Packers, because it's the common people. You pull them all together, they don't have enough money. Mike Brown is in 31st place. He's the owner of the Bengals. He's only got $925 million. So the Green Bay Packers are in last place because all the ticket holders combined net worth is not worth $925 million. Oh, that's hilarious. Art Rooney is 30th. He's only got 1.2 billion. And then Mark Davis of the Raiders has only got 2 billion. Man, these people are poor. They need to get a job. That's weird seeing all these old time owners that have been handed down from generation to generation and stuff like that they don't have all this money, like the Lions owner. Jim Irsay's got $4 billion, and he inherited it from his father. And like Mark Davis from the Raiders. You think they'd have a lot of money? It's crazy. I had no idea about the Chiefs. Named after the mayor's nickname. Had absolutely nothing to do with Native Americans. From Porky's, yeah. Oh my gosh. I rewatched that. It was on Amazon Prime, I think it was. And I was like, I used to love that movie. And I started watching. I got like 15 minutes into it, and I was like, man, I don't know how this isn't completely banned. I was very young at the time, and the movie did not hold up well. There's definitely a lot of toilet humor in it. I was like, oh, it really isn't that funny. That's what it says. 2 billion. Yeah, right. I was completely surprised the Redskins were sold for that much money. I mean, Snyder made off like a bandit. I mean, what did he buy it for? Like $500 million, like 500 million, 700 million, something like that? 400 million? It was back in the 90s. I remember when it happened. It was a lot of money back then. Then turn around and sell it for $6 billion? That's a good investment. Mark Davis knows haircuts. He actually travels to get those haircuts. I swear. I read about that. Saw an interview. The New York Post. This was in 2021. The title is "The Truth Behind Mark Davis's Terrible Haircut is Quite Shocking." Stop with all the pop-ups. Okay. Davis's hair, which can be described as a loosely stitched together combination of a bowl cut and the male version of bangs, has been a punchline on social media and NFL circles. It's no accident, though. He says, I just blow dried and it ends up like this. I don't really have to comb it, Davis says. It's not my barber's fault with the hair. I force her to do it. That's it. I swear I read where he travels So this girl's. That's funny. Sitting in Supercuts, and then walks Mark Davis, sits down. What's going on, man? That'd be hilarious. You know they ain't cheap, Tom. Oh, that would be hilarious. I was really upset that Davis fired Gruden. It really surprised me. I thought he was going to be like, yeah, screw all you people. You know, I was surprised that he fired Gruden. But yeah, that'd be great if he put him in the Ring of Honor. Just to make the whole league mad. What's going on with that lawsuit? I tell you, Gruden's going to get paid so much money for that. But he doesn't want money. He's mad. He's angry. I don't blame him. He got shafted, man. He was targeted. Whew. Oh, my face is hurting from laughing so much.
Attention, please.
Oops. Whew. The league bullied him into it. I thought he pulled the trigger kind of quick, but you know, I don't know. It's all going to come out in the wash one day. But it was definitely wrong what they did to Gruden. You know, leaking just his stuff. But that's the nature of business, I guess. So y'all want to watch all 22 tomorrow of the Panthers while we sit around and talk mess? What do y'all want to do tomorrow? We'll go sit around and talk crap about the Panthers. Oh my God. Gruden becomes the Saints offensive coordinator next year. I'd be angry. That would be funny though. Talk about getting at the Glazers. That'd just get under their skin, wouldn't it? Oh, he's got a wife? No way. It pops up and it says, Mark Davis, yes, he is indeed married. Oh, yeah. You can tell he's got money. She's a big bone girl, or he's really small. Which one is it? I guess he's kind of small. Here he is standing next to Del Rio, and he's up to about his chin. What's her name? All I get is wife. Carol Davis? Yeah, well, I did an image search for Carol Davis. I would not suggest doing that. Okay, all the same images. Wait, was Carol his dad's wife? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Carol Davis was Al's wife, so that's Mark Davis's mom. Who is his wife's name? Oh, his wife's name is Carol Davis as well? That's weird. I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole. It looks like the stadium. No way. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. $14 million. It does look like the stadium. Huh. I wonder if it's the same architect. I bet it was. That's crazy. It's got to be the same architect, right? So I want to get rich enough to where I hire an architect to build my stadium house. Yeah. Internet search stinks anymore. Okay. Let's try this website. Huh. It's going to have a man cave. They don't say who the architect is. They talk to 3 different architects in this article. Oh, okay. A Blue Heron, the luxury builder he hired to design and construct the house, had been working on the project for about a year and a half. So not the same people that constructed the stadium, but it is fashioned after the stadium. That's interesting. Cyberdyne from Terminator. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that house looks like something he would live in. Yeah, he seems to have a pretty decent sense of humor. You wear a haircut like that, you got to have a sense of humor. The Raiders Chargers, was that the game? Raiders Chargers? Antoine Winfield Sr., he was pretty mad about the snub on his son's Pro Bowl. He said it was BS. Oh, he said this just so happens to be a contract year, and then they posted a thinking emoji, kind of like saying his son didn't get the Pro Bowl nod because it would have cost the Glazers a lot more money. Huh. They scored 63 on the Chargers. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, he kind of gave the impression that it seems like that he thinks it was more to keep Winfield from getting the Pro Bowl for his contract negotiations. Glazers decide the Pro Bowl. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's apparently where he was headed with that. That's interesting. They got the same name. Yeah, I was like reading it. I was like, is it just me or are they talking about the same person here? All right, I'm gonna get off of here. We will we'll do some all 22 tomorrow while we talk about the Panthers game. I'm gonna review the last all 22 we watched probably before I get on live stream. I think we watched them against Houston, and then of course we had their game against us, but that was such a monsoon. I don't know if we can really learn anything from that. And I've got the Jaguars game downloaded where they shut out the Panthers. And we'll just talk tomorrow about the Panthers game coming up. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be a billionaire, to be honest. I mean, it's nice to dream about what you would do with the money and everything, but having money is a job. I mean, could you imagine how freaked out you would be? I mean, what do you do with your money? You're always worried about other people taking it. Everybody wants it, I mean, you hire money managers, but can you trust them? Can you trust your financial manager? Can you trust your bank? Can you trust your family? It's like, do you put it in stocks and bonds? Do you put it in a business? People are always coming at you with business ideas. I mean, it would be nice to have money just so you don't have to worry about money, but all the trouble that comes along with it, I don't know if it's worth it. All right, Rampage. We'll see you tomorrow, brother. And Al, we shall see you tomorrow. I don't know if it'll affect his contract or not, but It probably helps in his bargaining a little bit, yeah. But I think we're going to give him a fair shake. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one, and have a blessed evening. We will see you tomorrow, Friday, for the final live stream of the regular season. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, go Bucks.